about you, but this weather is beautiful, and I'm getting ready to go to Wisconsin, and I looked, and the high is 57, and rain. Now, I don't mind the cold, as long as the sun is shining, but we'll see. Today I want to speak with you on grow through what you go through. Now, how many of you have been through some really tough stuff? Isn't that amazing? Everybody raises their hand. It's just amazing. You know, life is about change. It is the only thing that we can count on is things will change. And sometimes when you're in a situation that think, okay, this is going to change, this too shall pass, I know you've heard that saying, it's difficult for us to maintain that, okay, this is a period of growth for me. What can I learn? What can I grow from this? Our seventh principle says we affirm the moral responsibilities of individuals and that we make our own happiness and unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. Now, you ask, how does that relate to growth? Well, as you're going through these challenges, what do you do? What is it that you're saying to yourself? Because most of what happens in our world is very external, but we bring it into ourselves, don't we? We take it on personally and we say, why are they doing this to me? How can this happen to me? We turn it in. But if we take a grander viewpoint and step back and think, okay, so when I am going through this situation, how do I maintain a modicum of peace within myself? Because that's truly what's important. Because what you take and what you learn here and what you grasp and bring into your being as far as your growth is concerned is what you take to the spirit world. Because that part of you that learns and grows, that spark of divinity within you, you take to the spirit world with you. In our world, a lot of things go on outside ourselves. And it's really just as important what's going on inside. Because you can't control anything outside yourself. I mean, we can't control the weather, we can't control what the government's doing, we can't even control what our family, well, we can try, but that doesn't work real good, does it? But you can't control anything outside of yourselves. What do you have control of? You. Your thoughts. Your ideas. Your feelings. Your emotions. And what usually happens is we have a thought. And then that thought elicits an emotion. And it begins to become a round circle, doesn't it? When you have a thought of, oh my gosh, this is awful, this is terrible, what's going, and then your emotions get turned up and your guts start to move. But that's all inside your head. That's what you're doing to yourself. Because there really is a different perspective. It's easy to say, well, just step outside of yourself and look at it objectively. Because most of us, it's very difficult to do that. And being a nurse, I tend to have to do that a lot. Because I want people to get better. It's like, I want you to get better. But I can't want it more than they want it themselves. So I have to look objectively at what's going on. And if we turn our attention that way and listen to what they're saying and what's going on around us, and then interpret that as a way that we can grow. Because that's what this life is about. It's about growing and progressing and working with natural law. Now, there are books available for natural law, and it's really helpful to learn them here, because then when you get over there, you already know them. Just like we have laws in our community, we have laws in everywhere. There's laws and rules for everything. And once you learn those, then you know the guidelines with which you can progress in. Because life is about progressing on this journey. It's about the experiences that we have. and what we do with those experiences. Sometimes when you're going through a really difficult time and things are happening all around you, it's really not about you. If you think of this world as like a big stage, and we're all here, we're all actors in this world, and we help other actors. And sometimes those actors play a certain part. There was a saying that went through on the internet: people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. How many of you? It went around on the internet. It's gone around several times. And instead of judging and thinking, wow, that's really wrong, or this situation is really bad, try turning it around and saying, this is here to teach me something. Let me step back enough to see what it's here to teach me. And sometimes it's not about a lesson that you learn. It's about a lesson that the people around you learn. You know, I was thinking as I was driving here today, because I have a little bit of time to do that, that the Fox sisters, you know, I'm reminded, look at all the things that they went through. I mean, they tied those little girls up, they bound their arms so that they couldn't make any noise, they were stripped naked. Look at all the things that they went through. Yet they persevered, did they not? And thank God they did. Because that's why we can be here today. They didn't quit because it got tough. They kept going, for they had a purpose inside of themselves, greater than every external thing that happened to them. Any experiences that they had, they overcame those to bring to us the truth of the continuity of life. That yes, once we shed this body, we go on. And we're not up there with little angel wings flapping around. We're who we are here. You take your personality and who you are with you. You take what you've learned, what you've grown through. You take that with you. Just like when you were a child. I know many of us went through school, the secular schools, going, I'm never going to use this again in my life. Why do I have to know algebra? Why do I have to... And when you get older, you go, oh, okay, well, I can see how I can apply that to my life. And we get those little things in life here. And sometimes they're through challenges. And sometimes they're through really tough challenges. But if you look at it and say, okay, how can I work through this? What can I do in my mind to change the way I see this? Because once you put a different spin on it, it can be completely different. Just like if you ever watch the cop shows or any of those, you know how they always separate people. Okay, you come over here with me and the other officer will take somebody over there. Why is that? Because they're going to get a different story from each person. Because it's how they perceive what went on. And then there has to be a judgment of what really occurred, right? So, because of you, because of your perceptions, your growth, your upbringing, you see things in a certain way. Can you change that? Absolutely. You can change how you view things. Instead of always looking at the negative for things, look at the positive. Try to see, what is it that I can do? Sometimes we take things in and, like I said, we make it about ourselves. But don't take it personal. Because 99% of the time, it's really not even about you. It's about what the other person is going through. And when you help others grow, you help yourself grow. It has to happen. It's natural law. And the vibration with which you put out to others is felt. And if you can be a positive vibration and supportive and loving when people are going through their difficulties, you can help shift their vibration. And then you both grow. Spirit is around us all the time. There are a lot of them in here. But they're always here to help. And sometimes it's difficult for people to ask for help. That's what we're here for. To help each other, to be of service to everybody. That's part of what we do here on this earth plane. We hold hands and we continue on this journey together. And if you ask for help from Spirit, they will be there. They will help you. They're not going to do it for you, but they will help you. And if you think about some of the difficult things in your life that have happened, it's gotten you to where you are today. And on some aspect, it's made you stronger. See? We wouldn't be appreciative of the sun or the night if the sun didn't shine and the stars didn't come out. The changes of the season. I know here in Florida we have two, hot and cold. I get it. And rain. Sometimes hail. We did have hail a week ago. But everything changes. Day follows night. Just as the seasons change. But it's your perception of them, is it not? I know I was thinking about, because I understand we're going to be, I think 88 the weather said today. And I'm like, oh, it can't be summer already. It's going to be so hot. And I went, wait a minute. But that's when the flowers bloom. And that's when we get to see all the vibrant color and the green grass and the leaves on the trees. So it's all in how you perceive it. And you can switch just that fast. The first couple times are a little difficult, but once you start in that cycle of changing your perception, changing how you view things, it becomes easier and easier. How many of you know negative people? I know nobody in here does. But there are some negative people. And you know how you feel when you get around them. It's like, oh, you feel like a weight is on you. You're like, what can I do to get away? I just need to get away. If you are strong enough, you can change that. And you can help them grow. Because as soon as something negative comes out of their mouth, you can switch that to positive, just like I talked about the weather. But look, beautiful green grass and the flowers are growing. You can shift it. And eventually, hopefully, they will make the choice to grow also. And if not, you can just continue to be that steady source of light for them. Because eventually they'll see, you're so happy. Why are you so happy all the time? Why are you smiling all the time? What's up with you? And then you can share the truth of what we as spiritualists believe. And how we live our life, and how we know beyond the shadow of a doubt that we are all connected. Each and every one of us are connected to each other. And once we get over into the spirit side of life, we're not going to have all these bodies and we're going to be like, oh, there's so-and-so. We'll recognize that light, that energy, because that is who you are. And those of you who've decided to take a spiritual growth on your spiritual path and said, how can I learn more? What can I do? And then you set goals for yourself, right? And then those goals just go perfectly all day, every day, right? Wouldn't that be nice? But sometimes you just need to tap into that reserves that you have. You have each and every one of you has untapped potential. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you're passionate about in your life? Maybe if you lose a job here, it's time for you to grow. When you set an idea, I want to grow, spiritually and emotionally and mentally, help me grow. I want to be happy. I want what's best for me. Then things start coming, don't they? Then you start getting the challenges. And just think of those as stepping stones. You can't make it to the top ladder without starting on the first rung. You have to start somewhere. Start small. Start really, really easy. Say, you know, I want to meditate for 10 minutes every day. I mean, everybody has 10 minutes, right? I mean, you could have 10 minutes. And then see what way the Spirit starts opening up in you. And see how you grow. And see how tolerant you become of things. I know that I meditate every morning. And I did miss a morning last week. And it's amazing how much better my days go when I've meditated. Because I've gotten in that space. I've gotten in that place where I can connect with others. That I can connect with who they truly are. And then sometimes what they're saying doesn't match what's going on, does it? But that's when you go through and you look for that spark. Because that goodness is in each and every one. Sometimes it gets covered up by the challenges we have in life. But who's holding on to those? Who is allowing that to be baggage for you? I've watched some of the shows on TV, not recently, but I can remember Jerry Springer and all of those. People who carry stuff when they were young. And they're bringing all that baggage with them to the current. My mother was brought up in the Depression, where they had to scrimp and save everything. I mean, they literally had to save everything. She was telling me some story about how they used to roll up the aluminum and the things in the cigarette packs because they turned, I don't know. And for the longest time, anytime we would go in someplace, how many of you know the Coffee News? It's a little brown thing. Okay, anyway. It's a little newsletter that goes out. And instead of taking one, she would take two. Instead of taking one doctor's card, she would take two. Because that lack was so deep within her. And I said to her, Mom, that happened 70 years ago. Why are you still bringing it with you? You have everything you need. I am pleased to announce she has made progress in that area. But you can too. You can do this too. But you have to start small. I read an article, and I think it was the Farmer's Almanac, And it said that most women only wear 30% of what's in their closet. And most women have one pair of unused new shoes. Wow, okay. So what are we doing? We're cluttering our spaces. How can we expect to grow? Knowing natural law, the more you give, what? The more you receive. Some people in this life hold on so tight, and they're limiting themselves. Yes, things have happened in your life. Things have happened in everybody's life. And if you can come about and say, how can I help that person? Because I have been through the same thing. And sometimes we go through one of those challenges because we are going to help somebody. Because we've been through it ourselves. And we've become stronger. And we have grown through it. How can you grow? Take what's showing up in your life, because if it doesn't show up, you don't know. You think, okay, well, everything's going good. All right, I must be doing good. Whatever comes into your life, take it. Say, how can I learn? Do I need to learn forgiveness? Do I need to learn compassion? Do I need to be more loving? Because even if it is a lesson for somebody else, you can also learn. Even if it's just to be selfless. Joseph Whitwell wrote, I don't know if any of you have the Spiritualist Manual. If you don't have one of these, oh my gosh, get one. There are a lot of information in there. Joseph P. Whitwell states in his interpretation of the principles, individuals are responsible for their own spiritual growth and welfare. Errors and wrongdoing must be outgrown and overcome. Virtue and love of good must take their place. Spiritual growth and advancement must be obtained by aspiration and personal striving. Individuals must overcome wrongdoings and replace them with right decisions. It truly is about us growing. Your responsibility here on the earth plane is to grow and to learn and to progress. And I want to leave you with the following thought. Scars remind us of where we've been, but they don't dictate where we're going. Bless you all.